All right, bear with me because I didn't bring my microphone, so audio might be a little weird and the video might be a little weird, but it seems okay. So anyway, maybe if I sit like really close to the laptop, it'll get my voice down a little better. But anyway, so I'm coming at you from the Hiram G. Andrews Center in Johnstown. Made it, you know. It's working out pretty well. I'm trying to be a little quiet because my mom is taking a nap, but she tends to sleep through a lot. So, any case, I was gonna do this episode yesterday, but then I got frustrated with my computer and I didn't feel like I was in the right mood to do it. So now we're doing it today. So I guess I want to talk about driving. So I've been talking about it for like months and months and months, but now we're finally at a point where I'm getting my license within, I don't know. So it's day two, end of day two. So it's a 2.5 weeks. So a couple more weeks, boom, then we're out of here. And to be fair to Johnstown, there's a little bit of a town here. It's one of those dead towns that like coal mines left, steel mills left, all that stuff. Like, so now I'm like, what do people do in Johnstown? And then, there's that flood that nobody knows about. Apparently three floods. So yeah, Johnstown flood, couple in 1800s. The main big one that killed like a couple thousand people is because of a dam bursting. So not great. But it was cool because I was like in the downtown area today, and the driving instructor was like, "If you see that building right in front of you, there's three like plaques on it." And apparently there was three floods. So like the tallest one was the, you know, Johnstown flood, the main big one, and it was like 20 feet high. So I was like, so all these buildings were completely underwater. Like, it's a miracle they're still there, I guess. Like a lot of them were they looked like the 1800s buildings. Yeah, went over a couple bridges today, nothing major. Kind of didn't know where the lane was, so I had to like go all the way across the. It was funny, but yeah, first day I wasn't really too happy about it, just because I was like, we got here Sunday and it's now Tuesday. It was obviously dark on Sunday, so it's harder to see. Hills are scary, like super steep mountain roads that obviously are totally different than what I'm used to. So a little bit nerve wracking at first. Then you actually have to go do it, and then it's like, meh. The brakes in this car work, so it's not really a big deal. I went down a super steep hill that I actually did. My mom was driving, and I like literally inched down it. I was like, nope, it's like all messed up. Like there's potholes and stuff. So I was just like, oh boy. But we made it. We made it. I was like, I don't want to do that. And then, he made me go around and do this other hill that I didn't want to do. And then I did it and it was fine. But, it's just crazy having done it already. I'm like, okay, but it's still like, it's hard to get my mind around. Like, that's normal. Just going down like a friggin', I don't know, like, I don't know the grade of the hill, but they're steep, very steep roads. Um, but yeah, not really any problems there. Haven't hit anything. That's good. I'm gonna make sure I don't hit anything. But yeah, so I think I'm doing this new series where it's like sort of like a driving diary. Um, so maybe I'll make this a new season. I don't know, but on YouTube, I'm definitely gonna make a new playlist for this. So so it is what it is. But we have some backup options here. Like we rented an Airbnb just in case I don't want to be in this. It's a college basically, but I'm just living here. It's kind of weird. Like the driving program is separate from this, because they actually have a lot of stuff here. And as far as I know, it's not necessarily for people with developmental disabilities per se, but it's like basically, if you have this OVR counselor person, you have adverse circumstances and you're trying to, work in a typical sense. Of course, it's not going to work for me, but, my route is the school, figure it out route more than, there's nothing wrong with this, like going into like construction or like something like that, which I would probably rather do if I'm being honest. You get like decent chunk of money out of school, boom, like, and then you save money and then you go to school if you want to go to school, or, you get promoted, right? So there's multiple pathways to success in life. It's just about what works for you. And, like I was talking to somebody like a while ago, and I'm like, I'm 20, but I can't drive. And they're like, how can you not drive? They didn't know like me or like the situation that I'm in. So give them that. But like he couldn't even comprehend the fact that some people don't drive when they're 16. Like even able-bodied people. I mean, in PA, wait till you're 18, boom, full license. Of course, you do get the, I learned this too. You get the vertical license until you're 21, because, at a bar, if you try to give them your legit license, they'll be like, nope. Or like, we'll check your birthday because I'm going to be getting my junior license for a year. Granted, I'm not supposed to be going on, but I don't know. It might get confusing when I'm 21, but or I could just pay the $40 and get the horizontal one. But I don't know if I want to do that. So anyway, there's that. But like, yeah, it's just funny to me that people are like, you're supposed to drive at 16. No, there's actually no rule that says you're supposed to drive ever. You don't have to drive. But yeah, it's like pretty cool how I drive. I drive the wheelchair. So here, let me slide this over. We're moving the camera. Yeah, like that. Basically, that sort of look. Obviously, on the podcast, you're not gonna be able to see that, but that's why we have the YouTube channel. But basically, it's like a picture like a Pac-Man game in an arcade. It's a joystick, like, so whereas with the other one, I was using both arms to pull back to brake and both arms to push forward for gas and both arms to turn. And yeah, so that system was just literally like the only one that we knew existed, let alone like, that we could actually do and get. But, they're giving us all kinds of stupid, like, the government's so fun. I love the government. They're like, oh, you can't get your car through there because they're not approved and blah, blah, blah. And okay, so we'll give you this stuff. We'll give you the opportunity to get this car converted so you can drive it. But then the people that are converting it were like, we can't do that because there's no crash test data. I'm like, you expect me to believe that, this like altering conversions place doesn't test their cars for crashes? Then apparently there's this like list or whatever, and there's a board of directors, and they're all Mobility Works people. So those are two manufacturers of these, accessible cars, right? And they're the biggest two. And all of the board members just happen to be Mobility Works and Brownability people. And since I know American history, we could probably recall that monopolies, or in this case, it would be a duopoly. I can't talk, but still illegal. Not supposed to be doing that. And apparently, like, it's like a pay to play. Like, you gotta pay a bunch of money so you can get your information in this system, which is dumb. And then this other place was like, oh yeah, we're not gonna convert your car. I'm like, I'm getting that traverse, darn it. Like, I don't care. The government has told me that I have to do enough things in a specific way. And I'm like, yeah, you're not telling me what car I'm getting. Can't do that. Like, the Republican side of me is like, but the need for it is there. So it needs to exist for sure. I'm not saying it doesn't. We just need to streamline the system because it's kind of bullshit. Pardon my French. I really speak that well, but it's really stupid to me that, well, I mean, okay, granted, from an economic standpoint, it makes sense. There's not a big market for it. There's not that many people, in this situation that need a joystick to drive a car. Right. So I guess that makes sense. But I'm not driving a minivan, darn it. Not a mom. No offense to the people that drive minivans. They're great cars. They're great. Uh, yeah, I'm just not a minivan guy. I'm learning how to drive on a minivan, but nope. I'm getting my nice Traverse, and everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa, how'd you do that?" And I'll be like, "I never told that. Sorry, I apologize. Let me restart. I never took no for an answer. Like, tell me no, I'll tell you yes. Like, can't have a Traverse. I'll be like, yeah, I can. Sorry, but I can, and you're gonna do it for me. Like that's what I think the government should, like the program should be. We'll help you completely with no questions, and we'll do whatever you want us to do because there's not a big market for it. So why couldn't they do, a different car for everybody? Like instead of being like, what van are you getting? I'll be like, I'm not getting a van. Sorry, not doing that. And I want to prove to people that are people like in my situation specifically that they can do a lot of stuff that regular people do. They need to stop seeing themselves as different, right? Obviously, we're different, but it's something that I have learned that I don't see myself as somebody who is truly disabled, right? It's a mindset slightly. Like obviously I can't walk and I need help to do everything. Therefore I'm disabled. But it's a mindset a little bit too. There's like physical aspects and mental aspects. Mentally, not doing so great. Not doing great. Because as an adult, I'm like 20 years old, I want to be independent. And unfortunately, I'm needing somewhat more help to do things. And that's completely the opposite of independent. So a little bit tough there because I'm also somebody who's like, I got this. I got it. But I was building that Formula One car the other day, and it was getting tiring. Like I was getting tired after building it for 4 hours because I was taking my time so I didn't screw it up. But also because physically I couldn't build it that fast. So that was a bit upsetting. And then that I was mad at myself, right? I was like, oh god, like that grumbling that we do, some people do. So yeah, apparently that made my aide quit because I was frustrated with myself that I needed help to finish this Lego set. And mind you, the aide didn't ever say, hey, you have anger issues, you need to work on that or I'm quitting. They just quit. I'm like, yeah, that's for sure. Yep. Totally the right thing to do there. Instead of giving me an opportunity to, be more aware and, not as like, or like, plus these people are not the smartest, not being rude. They're just not. And then I'm meticulous, by the way. Like, yeah, because I have to explain things 36 times, or it seems like I do. So maybe they're more intelligent than I'm giving them credit for, but or maybe I'm so smart that I'm just like, yeah, I realize I get angry. I know that. I obviously need to fix that. And that I took that personally. Okay. I was offended by the whole abrupt quitting thing. Like, okay, thank you for even attempting to give me a chance. That was nice of you. Oh, and not to mention the fact that, you know, if I'm already having anger issues sometimes when, there's people around me to help me, you know, it says like that I'm struggling with a lot of stuff. And if she can't understand that, good riddance. Honestly, like I don't need that crap in my life. I don't need it. But at the same time, it's kind of annoying because it's like, oh, well, now I got to get help more from other people. And some people I just don't like to help me as much. I don't know. It's all a shit show, if I'm being real. And pardon the French again, but it's not great. It's not great. And it, wasn't helping. And I've been focusing on the wrong stuff, like the future stuff. Like, who cares? I'm just getting my driver's license right now. I was nervous to come to this dorm room thing because, I know how my dorm experience went before, but it's a little bit of a different feel. I'm actually getting out doing stuff. It's already day 2, so part of me thinks it's gonna take forever. Part of me is like, "Pff, I'll be home before I know it." And that was the other thing, like just leaving home, just it is what it is. Um, hopefully they found coverage for my job because they said they were gonna do it. So if I get a random phone call like, "Where are you?" and I'll be like, "I told you 2 weeks ago and I wasn't gonna be here." Like, it's that kind of thing where I'm like thinking ahead. So I need to stop thinking ahead and think about what's right in front of me. For example, laptop, podcast, we're making a podcast. We're not talking about anything else, right? Clicking buttons. Okay. Um, so the driving stuff is going well, I would say. And I didn't think that I described this place that I'm staying in too much, but it's pretty cool actually. So, unfortunately, there's only one in the entire state of Pennsylvania, and there's only 7 of these things in the United States. Ask me why that makes sense. I don't know. I think there should be more, like, but I'm questioning, like, you know, do I feel okay with how this is set up? Like Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's in the middle of Pennsylvania. It's not centrally located at all. It's 2 hours from Pittsburgh. It's like 5 hours from where I'm at. It's probably like an hour from Penn State. It's not really centrally located. So part of me is like, okay, so they're relocating all the, developmentally challenged people, whether that is super bad or like, mild where you can't really tell. Um, is that okay for them to be like basically shipped here? Like that's my perspective a little bit. Like it's obviously a training facility, like it's a school, they're teaching people how to, work and drive, and there is a driving program here, but it's different, but and use medical technology and stuff. So it's not, I'm a little confused about the purpose of this place, if I'm being real. But I feel like there should be more of them. There should be at least 3. There should be one near me, on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, on the western side of Pennsylvania, there should be one, and then this one, because it is in central PA, but there's nothing here. It feels like there's nothing here, but that's not true. I just haven't been around enough. But like, doesn't it seem a little weird that like anyone who's dealing with somewhat adverse circumstances, they're not forced to come here. It's recommended. I mean, I would. I mean, I am here. It's kind of like a tech college, but it's all under one roof, so it's pretty cool, I guess. I just a little bit confused, but it is what it is. So it's going pretty well. No worries there. Trying to get my overthinking under control because it's not great. I might start something. I don't know, because I'm aware of it. Like I'm aware of all these things where I'm like, I'm feeling stressed out or I'm feeling anxious for some reason or like blah blah blah, whatever it is. I can kind of tell whether I can stop it, or stop how I act afterward. That's the other question. Like awareness is one thing. It's about what you do with the awareness that is important. So I will update you tomorrow, probably a shorter episode. This was just kind of a full length one because I haven't done one this week. I think I did one last week. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Share it. And I'll catch you on the next one.